Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we are going to be moving some modular buildings once more. I have slept on this for a little bit now, and I've thought about this new layout that we made in a recent video. And so if you guys didn't watch that video, I will put that in the top right for you so you can check that out. But I am not totally happy with this layout here. There's a number of things that I want to change, and so we are going to be doing that in today's video. First and foremost, I want to move the town hall. While I do think that it could work here, I don't think I want to keep it here. And so I want to bring it back over to this area right here, and then we can make that double corner thing again, and then we can have it kind of wrap around this whole section here, and then have a nice open area out here as well. So that is something that we are going to start with, and then once we move that, then we can take care of the corner builds and everything else in this block here, because this is not the only change that I want to make in today's video, so we have a lot going on. And so as you can see with the town hall back in its spot there, I think this looks a lot better and this makes a lot more sense, at least to me personally. And so I am still really keen on the idea of having the side wings on either side. I don't think they need to be a full 3 floors, but maybe they will be. I'm not totally sure yet. I'll figure that out once I actually start building the thing. But the minimum will be 2 floors, and then it'll kind of have a tiered effect where the 2 floors are on either end, 3 floors in the middle, and then the clock tower in the center. And so I think that would look pretty good. But now that we have this back in its original spot here, we can start to worry about some of the other buildings, namely the brick bank. I don't know if this is where it's going to stay, unfortunately, and the same goes for the Palace Cinema. So with that, we have some work to do on finding them some new homes. So let's get to work and we can start taking some buildings out and then we can add them back in. And so the main reason why I wanted to move the town hall back, other than because I really like this spot for it, is actually because of the assembly square. I really like how it looked there up at the front, and I want to be able to see it since it's one of my favorite modular buildings. So I want to see it when I first walk in the room. So with that, that is where it's going to stay. But now that that is back there, we need to figure out a new home for the corner builds on either end of it. And so that's what this next clip is going to be for. I'm going to try a couple different combinations. And there's a slim chance that I actually might end up using the Grand Emporium and the corner garage in the same orientation that it was on the back, except it's going to be rotated 180 degrees now. So the Grand Emporium from a week or two ago will end up in the exact same spot. And then the corner garage will obviously be in a new spot because it is brand new to the city. But with that, let me go ahead and try a couple different options and I'll show you guys how that looks. I've already moved the Palace Cinema and the bank out of the way, so this should be a pretty simple fix. All right, so I've been pretty busy moving some stuff around and trying a couple of different options. And so I'm gonna kind of give you guys my thought process on how I'm making these changes. And so the Grand Emporium is back where it started, and I think this is a good home for it, so I think that's where it's going to stay. But if we come around this way, you will notice a lot of other changes, namely the corner garage right here, and also the brick bank in the back there, but we'll talk about that in just a second. I want to focus on the corner garage right now. And so as you can see from this main view of the city, it looks like the corner garage doesn't really exist. It's kind of so small and it has that angle, and so it really just is not doing any favors for it there. But I don't think it looks bad when you come from this angle over here. So this is actually not that bad, and so I'm kind of torn between keeping it here or moving it back next to the detective's office. So let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments below. I'd be pretty curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it. But kind of coming around the rest of the way in the city here, you'll see that this actually looks pretty good next to the other custom buildings here, and so that is a nice bonus as well. I'm still not a big fan of seeing this wall right here on the side of the assembly square, but I think I could live with it. It doesn't look that bad. And then coming down this way a little bit, you notice I put the sanctum back where it started as well, because I do really like that banner right there, or that poster. And then I tried the bank here just to see how it would look next to the bookshop. I like the combination, but I don't like the placement of the bank here because it's so close to the edge of the city. I feel like a bank needs to be a little bit more prominent, and so it might end up going back where it started, or possibly over here, depending on how things go. I'm not totally sure yet, but the Palace Cinema is the other one that I want to try over here. I think that could look pretty good, and you would still see the sign and you would still see most of its detail, which I do really like. So that is where it's going to get tried next. I don't know if it's going to stay there, but I guess we'll see how this next clip goes. All right, so I moved the bank to where the corner garage was, and I think this could definitely work. It has potential, but this one little area right here just doesn't look that great to me. So I might end up keeping it here, but that's, I think, always going to bug me, and so I'm probably going to change this eventually. But it's not a bad spot for it, and this lets me see the laundromat more clearly, which I do really like. The laundromat is one of my favorite parts of the bank, and the bank as a whole is one of my favorite modulars that LEGO has ever made. So I do really like the look of this here. Now, coming down this way, you'll notice I put the Palace Cinema over here, and I do actually quite like the positioning of this. I think that looks good, and then we can go ahead and make a custom building to go between my small town store and also the Palace Cinema here. And then this it could also be the bookshop, which I did move back to its original spot, but I'll talk about the bookshop more in just a second here. But if we come around this way, you can start to see where I put the corner garage, and it is actually right back where it started. And you notice that it is back where it started, but I do think that this is a pretty good spot for it. I really like it next to the detective's office and the bookshop. I don't love it next to, but we could always slide this down 16 studs and then put a custom building in the middle. So that is definitely an option for it. And then across the street here, where the top floors of the apartment building are, is going to be the Daily Bugle. And then we can go ahead and also work out this area down the line. But mainly just focusing on this here today. And so this is probably where the garage is going to end up. I think this is a pretty good spot for it. But with that in mind here, you can actually see the Palace Cinema is now over here. And I think this is a good look for it. I think this looks pretty good. It does look a little lonely out here, but that's just because there's no building here and the fire brigade is in here. And then once we get the fire brigade in, then we can work out this corner as well. But once all of the buildings are in, which is a very long ways down the road, then this area is going to start to look a lot nicer. But I do think that this looks pretty good. And like I said, we could always move the bookshop back over here. I did really like that placement as well. So just to show you guys what that looks like. So this is what the bookshop looks like next to the Palace Cinema. And I do think that this is actually a really nice combination. So this is probably where the bookshop is going to end up for the time being. It is on a different height at the moment because I didn't remove the Mills plate and then put the base plate on top of the brick. So that is something that I'm going to need to do, but we can do that in a future video. Today, I just wanted to shuffle some modular buildings around because I wasn't totally satisfied with how we left it in a previous video. So I think I'm much happier with this layout today. I really do like having the town hall back where it was, along with the assembly square. And I do think that this area between the corner garage and the sanctum sanctorum, we can do something really cool with. Now, again, we could move the bookshop back, but let me know what your preference is down in the comments below. If you like this new layout better than you did when the video started. So that is going to wrap up today's video. I don't really have much else to say because I'm pretty satisfied with all of the buildings here. We didn't touch the boutique hotel or the police station here, nor did we touch any of these buildings in this block out here. And so I'm happy with those, but if you guys want to see me move some of these around, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. But like I said, this is going to wrap up today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on this layout placement of modulars, make sure to drop your comments down below to let me know what you think. But once again, seriously, thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.